Well, I'm really happy to hear and read the fan response to what we did at our briefing. We really wanted to come in and make sure that everybody understood that, I don't know, I ran first party studios. I'm somebody who grew up playing games. I think about a gaming console like Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo as a place I want to go play great games. And for me, this E3 was an opportunity for us to come out and just really show what we're about, how we show up. I didn't want to take shots at anybody else. It wasn't about that. It was really just here. I love the art form that we have in games. I love the creators. I wanted to bring them on the floor and actually sit with them on the floor and talk amongst them and have them come up and talk about their games and show a very diverse lineup. The reaction to that's been great. That's why we do this. We do this so people will buy our games and buy our console. So that's really nice. The last year has been a good learning opportunity for all of us in the Xbox team. We're in it to win. Nobody should take away that we're not competitive with Sony and Nintendo. Completely are, and I don't want everybody to buy an Xbox One. But I think we get there through showing what we're doing and what we're focused on, and not really focus on the other guys specifically. I applauded them. I thought they had nice shows. And it's nice to see the response that the fans have had to our show. Well, you're seeing a resurgence now, and I might not even say a resurgence. We saw both the 360, the PS3, and the Wii U were in the market for an awful long time and had tremendous success. Now we've got Sony and us coming out at the same time, and you've never seen this many new generation consoles sold in such a short period of time, which is great success for the industry. I think mobile, I think PC, I think free-to-play, kind of more accessible business models around games are just creating more people that look at games as something that they want to entertain themselves with, how they want to spend their time. And then when you look at the very high-fidelity things that we're able to put on their television screens through the console industry and the power of today's console, I think it's the amount of game content out there, the amount of gamers, we probably have more gamers than we've ever seen playing all kinds of games, is just a good thing for the console business. I think that's playing out right now. We have a good lineup of free-to-play games on 360, and I think it's an interesting business model and creative mechanic for getting people to play, and things like Happy Wars and World of Tanks and Warface and stuff on 360 have done really well. Early on in a new generation like we are with Xbox One, free-to-play as a model really requires a lot of people. That's how the whole model works, because you're going to monetize such a smaller set. We've embraced free-to-play long ago in the console space, and we'll continue to do that. I think it's an interesting form of gaming, and you see a lot of innovation there, and something that I think is here to stay. You talk about the multiple price points and the multiple ways that we monetize games today. I think that's a great thing for our industry. It's not that everybody has to pay $60 to go play games. You can buy downloadable games that are cheaper. There are free-to-play games out there on other devices. You see advertising-funded games and other things. This is just great. The kind of top of the top from a fidelity standpoint, from a completeness at launch standpoint, are your $60 console retail games. And I think it's a viable model, and it's proving out to be successful. We've got publishers out there having tremendous success. We're seeing great return from some of our franchises that we're bringing back, and we're bringing them back as retail games because there's strength in that model. And it's, I think, a good thing. And now it's not all about $60. There's just so many different ways that people get involved in gaming, so many different business models. And $60, I think, will be one of those things that's here to stay as well as part of that. Well, the response to Halo Master Chief Collection from our briefing was pretty tremendous. We thought early on in the life cycle of a new console, the ability to give people access to all 4 games in an unlocked way with all the multiplayer maps, just a great kind of bookend beginning to the Xbox One generation. The nice thing about what 343 is doing with Halo is they're taking a very long-term approach to the franchise. I don't think they're overusing it. They're finding in the book space, they're finding the stories that are best told in a linear book form, and that's where they're focusing effort there. The stuff that they're doing video with Ridley Scott right now that'll be coming out, it's really about the medium in which Halo will come out, making it more the story and the characters more accessible to more people. But everybody should know that first and foremost, Halo is a first-person shooter, and that's where we stay focused. It has to succeed there. I like the Master Chief Collection coming out this November at $60. I think that's a good value for Halo fans and kind of lets them get their library on Xbox One before Halo 5 gets here. And I have a lot of trust that 343 is going to manage that franchise over the long run very carefully. Yeah, Gears of War is incredibly important to us. We, as people know, we acquired the intellectual property from Epic Games in January. We hired Rod Ferguson, who's been one of the longtime creators on Gears of War. He joined the team up at Black Tusk. I have a review with them, actually, funny enough, next week. Maybe it's the 24th. Anyway, they're coming down to Redmond, and I'm going to see what we're looking at for the next version of Gears. Yeah, this wasn't a show. It just wasn't the right time. Sure, we could have put together something with no clear ship date idea or something. I didn't want to do that. I said, let's keep the team focused on getting the right game idea, and then when we're there and we've got a story to tell on stage, we'll go do that. But this wasn't the right time for it. But I'm incredibly excited about what the team can do, trying to take Gears and maybe get a little more gritty with the IP. I think would be a good thing for it. A dream mashup game. Wow, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to start with probably my most addictive game that I've ever played in Robotron. So I'm gonna start with a dual stick shooter. And then what would I want to layer on? If it had verticality, because it was all 2D and a different character space, I'm going to go with Robotron Crackdown. And I think if you had the ability to kind of move around with a dual stick and kind of a top-down view, but jump up on the top of buildings and destroy buildings and stuff, I just made that up, but maybe we should do dual stick Crackdown meets Robotron.